Welcome to the Walk to End Epilepsy. We are going to kick things off with one of our favorite activities from camp. Join us for our Walk Energizers.
Yeah.
Hey, witch doctor, give us the magic words.
You go ooh, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang.
All right. Ooh, ooh, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Ooh, ooh, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. Ooh, ooh, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Ooh, ooh, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang.
Do, 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 do.
Ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. Ooh, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. Ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. Ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. I told the witch doctor I was in love with you. I told the witch doctor I was in love with you. And then the witch doctor, he told me what to do. He told me, ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. 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 I told the witch doctor you didn't love me true. I told the witch doctor you didn't love me nice. And then the witch doctor, he gave me this advice. Ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. 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 You can keep your love for me just like you were a miser. And all I think it wasn't very smart. So I went out to find myself a guy that's so much wiser. And he told me the way to win your heart.
Do, 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 do.
Ooh, ee, ah, ah.
Do, 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 do.
Ooh, ee, ah, ah.
Do, 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 do.
Ooh, ee, ah, ah. Ooh, ee, ah, ah. Ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. Come on and ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. Ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. Ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang. Ting, tang, walla, walla, bang, bang.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first ever virtual Walk to End Epilepsy in Tyler. My name is Shannon, and I'm with the Epilepsy Foundation Texas in Dallas. And before we get started, let's just take a minute to say thank you to some of our sponsors who've made this all possible. So there are our national sponsors, Neurelis, SK Life Science, Greenwich Biosciences, and ASI, our state sponsor, UCB, and also our local sponsors at Tyler Neurosurgical Associates, Northeast Texas Neurology Associates, Ultra Bank, and Livanova. We're excited that you could join us today to kick off National Epilepsy Awareness Month. And if you didn't know, 1 in 26 people will be diagnosed with epilepsy, and 1 in 10 will experience a seizure at some point in their life. And that means that over 344,000 people just in Texas have epilepsy. As of today, you have raised together over $12,000 for our epilepsy community. We cannot thank you enough for supporting our programs and services every single day. And thanks to you, we've been able to give children and teens with epilepsy the virtual summer camp experience from home, educate tens of thousands of school teachers in seizure first aid, and even continue to provide care and medication at our clinics for over 1,500 patients. Not only have you raised dollars, but you've also helped raise awareness. And today we walk together as a community to end epilepsy. Now, you can't tell right now, but it is a beautiful day here. So I'm walking in my neighborhood, but where are you walking today? Are you walking from your neighborhood, from a treadmill in your house, from a park? We want to know, so please let us know in the chat box. Send us your pictures, put them on social media, and don't forget to tag us and use the hashtag EFTX virtual walk. And you can even live stream your walk to help raise awareness even more. So wherever you're walking today, know that the Epilepsy Foundation Texas walks with you, and we are here for you every step of the way. And now I'd like to introduce someone very special to the Epilepsy Foundation. She is a leader in the epilepsy community and is the woman who has brought us together today and made it all possible. So thank you for all your hard work. And now I'd like to introduce our founder and CEO, Donna Stallhut.
What a glorious day in Texas. Today we celebrate Epilepsy Awareness Month with 4 virtual walks to end epilepsy across the state of Texas, starting in far west Texas in El Paso, moving on to Lubbock, then to the Woodlands outside Houston, and then to East Texas and our wonderful city of Tyler. Thank you all for joining us today. This is a remarkable day in the life of the Epilepsy Foundation. We have some really core main programs. We have our medical clinics, our world's largest camping programs, our support systems in place to help those struggling with epilepsy, and our educational efforts. But today our efforts focus on raising awareness about epilepsy. We do that in many ways. We educate the public. Actually, Texas public school personnel must all now be trained by the Epilepsy Foundation in seizure recognition and first aid. There's some 700,000 of those good folks, and we have so far educated 200,000. We also are launching this month our seizure first aid certification training that you get by going to epilepsy.com first aid. You should take it. I took it and I learned so much from that program. Our goal is to make Texas the most safe place in the country for folks with epilepsy, and we need your help to do that. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for walking in honor of someone with epilepsy. Thanks for walking in honor of yourself if you have epilepsy. Or thank you to the many of you who walk in memory of someone whose life was lost to epilepsy. We are all in this together. We're all going to win this fight, and we will end epilepsy. Thank you, and have a great day.
We're lucky enough to have some representatives from our sponsors walking with us today. And before I turn it over to them, remember to stay tuned until the end of this stream to hear our top teams. And with that, let's welcome Alina Barton from Greenwich Biosciences.
Hello everyone, my name is Alina Barton and I'm honored to be speaking with you virtually today on behalf of Greenwich Biosciences and our entire team. As a nationwide presenting sponsor, Greenwich Biosciences is proud to partner with the Epilepsy Foundation and its affiliates for events like this across the country. We are united in what we're trying to accomplish here today, to raise epilepsy awareness and to have a positive effect on care, on research, and on the lives of those who are impacted by seizures. There are so many families who wake up every day to the reality of epilepsy. There are people listening right now who have been fighting against it their entire lives, and there are others who are not able to join us. But as a community, we never give up hope that one day we will overcome the challenges of living with this disease. This is what drives us. You may know us best as the company researching and delivering FDA-approved cannabinoid medications to help address serious conditions, but also know that our focus is you. Patients and families are at the center of everything we do, and we strive to make a positive and meaningful difference in their lives, in your lives. We were all hoping this walk would go on as planned, but it's still wonderful to see the community come together even during uncertainty in times like this, when it's so essential that we stay physically apart. But next year, we'll be back together, stronger than ever. Stay safe and strong, and have a great virtual walk.
My name is Barbara Watkins, and I'm here today representing the Tyler Walk to End Epilepsy. I happen to be the mom of Samantha Watkins, the Sam behind Sam's Law in Texas. Before I start my story, I would like to give a shout out to her little sister, McKenna, who is a freshman Terry Scholar at Texas Tech University. Lubbock is having their walk today, and McKenna and her friends will be representing and honoring Sam there. So anyway, miss you, Kenna, and I love you. I'll share a little bit. Sam was a senior in 2016, very healthy, academic scholar, a 4-year member of our varsity soccer team. When she had her first known seizure on Labor Day that year, she was volunteering as a camp counselor at a camp for children with special needs. And it kind of snowballed from there. We finally found a neurologist that would see her. She was already 17, almost 18. And that neurologist told us that it was, from what Sam described, stress, not terrors, and gave us an idea of a diet to eat and told her a certain amount of sleep to get every night. And we were actually relieved. What we didn't realize is she was continuing to have nocturnal seizures and getting worse. She asked to sleep with me the last day of November, and I woke up in the middle of the night to the words, "Oh, shoot." And those were the last 2 words Sam said before she went into a grand mal seizure from which she never woke. She was declared brain dead on December 4th, 2016, and she became a hero that day because she gave the gift of life as an organ donor by choice. I was contacted by Sherry Dudo, an educator just like myself who has epilepsy, and she decided it was time, because of all the support she saw around Sam, to share her story. And I told her I would be honored for her to share Sam's story. Then she decided she would like to go in and educate teachers such as herself on what to do, because there was a lot of information out there that was false of what to do when someone had a seizure. She was told that the only way schools had to let her in, or required to, was if it were a law, and that was very highly unlikely. And what they didn't know, it was Sherry and Sam, and that it was most definitely going to become a law. So with her hard work and the work of Claudia, Travis Clardy, Brian Hughes, and so many others, their assistants, I couldn't name everybody possibly. It became a law and was signed by Governor Abbott in 2019. My husband and I said that if one child was saved, if one child felt safe going to school, then our loss was worth all this hard work, because that's what it was all about. I mean, Sam was always helping others, and I didn't realize what kids went through and the fear they had in going to school. And so it has not only helped one child. I mean, it's been staggering, the stories I've heard. And seizures aren't just epileptic in nature. Seizures can happen from a sports injury, hydration, stress, pregnancy. There's so many other factors. And we live in Texas, and a lot of our, bus trips to UIL events and sporting events are an hour one way. And so someone needs to know what to do in the event. And I just feel so good knowing that our tragedy helped make this happen. If you have a story you'd love to share with me, I'd love to meet you. Reach out to me. I'd love to talk, and I promise that I will do everything I can to continue to raise awareness and money to help find a cure to end seizures. I thank you so much for listening to our story. I look forward to seeing everybody next year, and I hope that I get to meet some of you soon. Take care.
Thank you so much, Barbara, for sharing your and Sam's story. Now I'd like to pass it on to Brian Rogers from UCB.
I'm honored to share a few words of support with everyone participating today. My name's Brian Rogers, and I work for UCB, where our ambition is to transform the lives of people living with epilepsy. If you're not familiar with UCB, you can certainly visit walkedindepilepsy.org/UCB. Once again, walkedindepilepsy.org/UCB. Find all kinds of resources that can help you on your walk with epilepsy as a caregiver or a patient. That being the Epilepsy Advocate Program, also information on UCB Family Epilepsy Scholarship Program, and also UCB Cares to give you access and product information. You can certainly visit there for all that. We're proud to support this event and participate alongside everyone today. However, our support does not end here. We're committed to advancing research to improve the lives of people living with epilepsy and finding solutions that help patients live at their ideal. Thank you for your participation, engagement, and voice. You refuse to let this disease get the best of you, and we are so inspired by your resilience. You continue wearing your purple, creating awareness and walking in support of everyone impacted by epilepsy. For those living with epilepsy, keep your heads high, don't back down, We're here to celebrate and support you, so let's walk on.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Moreau, and I'm the Assistant Director at the Epilepsy Foundation, Texas. I'm inviting you, your friends, and your family to join us in the Seizure First Aid Certification Training this November. We have a challenge going on. We want to get 2,020 people trained in seizure recognition and first aid. The Epilepsy Foundation recently launched the first and only seizure recognition and first aid certification to support the 3.4 million Americans living with epilepsy. The certification is free, and it provides information to increase public knowledge, skills, and confidence in recognizing seizures and safely administering first aid. The certification training is led by Epilepsy Foundation certified instructors and is available through live webinars scheduled throughout the month of November. Help us reach our goal of training 2,020 people during National Epilepsy Awareness Month. To register for a training, visit epilepsy.com/first aid. Together, we can make Texas the safest state in our country for people living with epilepsy. Please join us.
Before we move on to our next speaker, we have a quick message from Katie at Neurellis. And remember to stay until the end to hear about our top teams.
Neurellis is thrilled to be able to support the epilepsy community in Dallas, Texas. We're committed to those with epilepsy, their caregivers, their clinicians, but really it's about those with epilepsy and their families, which drives the passion behind Neurellis. Therefore, we are beyond excited to be able to support the Epilepsy Foundation. Thank you so much.
Hello, Michael Korn here. I'm here to take my walk for the Walk to End Epilepsy fundraiser this year. I've had epilepsy since the 3rd grade, which has had such an effect on my life, and know for a fact that we need to do something about it. So I decided to participate in the event to help spread awareness for it because something needs to be done to help improve the lives of those with epilepsy. One thing that comes to my mind that epilepsy has kept me from doing in my life is driving, which has in a way kept me from being able to connect with other people and made me feel lonely. However, throughout the coronavirus pandemic, I've realized that I could feel even lonelier. I saw online that the Walk to End Epilepsy fundraiser was going to be done virtually this year and started to think this would be a nice way for the company I work for, First Service Residential, to do something together while separated and suggested for us to participate in it. When I heard they agreed to, I felt so supported and so much less alone. We got together a team of my coworkers, and First Service Residential even donated $50 to the first 10 volunteers, and we raised $1,838 altogether. There hasn't been anything I've ever participated in that has ever made me feel so much less alone in my whole life, which is exactly what I needed since the coronavirus pandemic started. So thank you to all our team sponsors. This has been such an amazing experience. I couldn't feel more proud of the results my team and I accomplished.
Before we wrap up, I'd like to welcome our representative from SK Life Science, Jerome Hamilton.
Thank you for joining us today for the Walk to End Epilepsy. My name is Jerome Hamilton, and I am the local neuroscience account manager with SK Life Science. Epilepsy is more than seizures, and it takes more than one person to fight it. At SK Life Science, everything we do is with the purpose of supporting patients, caregivers, and the entire CNS community. We are a global pharmaceutical company focused on the research, development, and treatment of central nervous system disorders. Our mission remains the same. As long as there are unmet needs in the epilepsy and CNS community, we will keep working. We will continue to explore the complex mysteries of the brain to find answers for patients, caregivers, and the healthcare professionals, because you're worth it. For more than 50 years, the Epilepsy Foundation has been fighting on the front lines to advocate and support the 3.4 million people with epilepsy in the U.S. We are thrilled to be partnering with the Epilepsy Foundation in the fight against epilepsy here in Tyler, Texas. These walks exist to end epilepsy, and even though these times call for joining hands virtually and maybe not physically, we are proud to join with all of you in taking one step closer to our ultimate and shared goal. Thanks so much for letting us be a part of this special day with you. Now, let's start walking.
Thank you everyone for joining us today, and a big thank you to our sponsors again for making this all possible. Our national sponsors, Neurelis, SK Life Science, Greenwich Biosciences, and ASI. Our state sponsor, UCB, and our local sponsors, Tyler Neurosurgical Associates, Northeast Texas Neurology Associates, Ultra Bank, and Livanova. Without each and every one of you, we wouldn't be able to have our summer camps for children and teens with epilepsy, our clinics, seizure education programs, and support groups. Now, if you haven't walked yet, make sure to put on your purple and have some fun. Don't forget to live stream and share your pictures with us. Please tag us and use the hashtag EFTX virtual walk. And now, without further ado, it's time for our top teams. So let's give a big shout out to our top fundraisers, Walk for Sam, who raised over $800. And let's celebrate the team with the most members, Team Jack, with 31 teammates. And remember, it's not too late to fundraise and win a prize. We have t-shirts, face masks, and blankets. Now, if you don't know where to start, send us a message. We are here to help. To donate and fundraise, go to texaswalktoendepilepsy.org and select Tyler, or follow the link below, and it'll be also linked in the chat. Thank you so much again for joining us today. Happy National Epilepsy Awareness Month, and happy walking.